Shabba the Hadzabe Bushman, a love stronger than distance. After all the drama, confusion, and unexpected surprises, Shabba was finally back in his village. The Hadzabe land welcomed him with open arms, the familiar scent of the wild, the warmth of the fire, and the laughter of his people. But what made Shabba the happiest? His European woman had not forgotten about him. Despite everything, she was still sending him food, still thinking about him, still caring for him. This made Shabba's heart swell with pride and joy. Shabba was back, and this time, he was ready to make things right. The village celebrates Shabba's return. The moment Shabba set foot in the village, a loud cheer erupted. Shabba is back. The wild man returns. Where have you been, Shabba? His friends ran to greet him, clapping him on the back. Even the elders, who usually didn't show much emotion, nodded approvingly. Kido, his best friend, grinned. Shabba, you look stronger. Did you fight a lion while you were away? Shabba laughed. No, my friend. But I fought something worse, problems. The whole village burst into laughter. They knew Shabba's life was never simple. News of his European woman, a reason to dance. As Shabba settled back into village life, one of the women approached him with a package wrapped in cloth. This is from your European woman, she said, handing it to him. Shabba's eyes widened. She sent me something? He opened the package carefully, and inside, he found food, a letter, and even some small gifts. Shabba couldn't believe it. Even from far away, she was still thinking of him. He held the letter close to his heart and stood up suddenly. I must dance, he declared. And without warning, Shabba began dancing with joy. His feet moved wildly, his hands clapped to the rhythm, and his voice called out in celebration. The whole village laughed and cheered, clapping along with him. Even the elders shook their heads with amusement. Kido crossed his arms and smirked. Shabba, my friend, you are too much. Shabba grinned. How can I not be? My woman still loves me. A quiet moment, Shabba reads her words. Later that night, after the celebrations had calmed down, Shabba sat by the fire, holding the letter in his hands. He carefully unfolded it, reading her words under the light of the flames. She told him she missed him. She said she wanted to come back one day. She reminded him to stay strong. Shabba smiled. His heart felt full. He had made many mistakes, but one thing was clear, this woman truly cared for him. I will wait for you, he whispered into the night. The next day, a new purpose. With the sun rising over Hadzabe land, Shabba woke up feeling different. He was no longer confused. He was no longer lost. He had a reason to be better, to do better. He would prove to his European woman that he was a true Hadzabe man. He would build a good home, become a great hunter, and prepare for her return. Excitement. The drummers in the village picked up their drums, beating them fast and loud, matching Shabba's wild energy. The women clapped, the children cheered, and soon, the entire village joined in, dancing and celebrating. Shabba is back. Shabba is happy again, they chanted. Shabba's happiness was contagious. Even the elders, who usually sat quietly watching, nodded their heads to the rhythm, chuckling at Shabba's endless energy. A new hope for love? As the celebration continued deep into the night, Shabba sat by the fire, looking at the stars above. His heart was full. His people were with him. His European woman had not forgotten him. Maybe she will come back, Kido said, nudging him. Shabba grinned. Maybe. But for now, I dance, I eat, and I live. And with that, he jumped up again, kicking up the dust, dancing like a man who had conquered the world. Shabba's shocking news, a past that won't stay in the past. The sun rose over the Hadzabe village, casting golden light on the land. The air was fresh, and the sounds of birds echoed in the distance. Shabba stretched, feeling refreshed after the night of dancing and celebration. He was in high spirits, still thinking about the food his European woman had sent him. But just as he was about to start his day, something unexpected happened. A woman approached from the far side of the village, her step steady, her expression serious. The moment Shabba saw her, his smile faded. It was his ex. The whispers started before she even reached him. The villagers turned their heads, some murmuring, some laughing quietly. Kido, Shabba's closest friend, nudged him. Shabba, my friend, it looks like today is going to be interesting. The big news, Shabba, you're a father again. The woman stood in front of Shabba, looking him straight in the eyes. Shabba, I have something to tell you, she said firmly. Shabba swallowed hard. What is it? She placed her hand on her belly. I am pregnant again, and it's yours. Fire! The entire village went silent. Fire. Even the elders, who usually ignored drama, turned their heads. The children, sensing something big, stopped playing. Shabba stood frozen, blinking, as if his brain was struggling to process what he just heard. Kido burst into laughter. Shabba, you have been celebrating the wrong things. You thought life was getting easy, but now, boom. More responsibility. The village erupted in a mix of laughter, gasps, and excitement. Some people clapped their hands in amusement, while the older women shook their heads knowingly. Shabba's reaction, confusion and panic. Shabba scratched his head. Wait. How? When? His ex raised an eyebrow. You don't know how this happens, Shabba? The village roared with laughter again. Shabba took a deep breath and sat down on a rock, shaking his head. This is not what I expected today. One of the elders finally spoke. Shabba, my son, you cannot run from your past. You must face it like a man. Shabba sighed. He loved children, but he was already dealing with the drama of his European woman. What would she think? Would she still want him if she found out about this? The village gives advice. What will Shabba do? That night, the men of the village gathered around the fire, talking and laughing at Shabba's situation. Small Blue Diamond some told him to take responsibility and support the child. Small Blue Diamond others joked that maybe he should go hunting again and disappear for a while. Small Blue Diamond Kido, always the troublemaker, said, maybe tell your European woman first, or maybe don't. Shabba groaned, covering his face with his hands. Why is my life like this? The elders finally silenced the laughter. One of them, a wise man with deep wrinkles and kind eyes, looked at Shabba and said, life is full of surprises. A man must stand strong in the face of them. Do not run from what is yours. Shabba's confusion bathed, washing away the stress. The village was still buzzing with the shocking news. Shabba's ex was pregnant again. Everywhere he walked, he could hear whispers, laughter, and people shaking their heads. Some teased him, others gave him advice, but one thing was clear. Shabba was confused. He didn't know what to do, what to say, or even what to think. His mind was racing, his European woman, his ex, the baby, the village watching him like a drama show. It was too much. So, Shabba made a decision. I must wash away this confusion, he mumbled. I need a bath. A deep, deep bath. The journey to the river, a man on a mission. Determined, Shabba grabbed his things and marched toward the river. Kido, his best friend, saw him walking. Shabba, where are you going? I go to wash away my problems, Shabba replied, his face serious. Kido burst into laughter. You think water can fix your life? My friend, you need more than a bath. Shabba didn't answer. He kept walking. He needed peace, if only for a moment. Into the water, washing away his sins? When Shabba reached the river, he threw off his clothes, took a deep breath, and jumped into the cold water. Sweat droplets splash. Sweat droplets. The shock of the water made him gasp, but it felt good. He scrubbed his arms, his chest, his face, as if trying to clean away all his problems. I wash away confusion, he shouted. I wash away stress. I wash away bad luck. He even dunked his head underwater, holding his breath for as long as he could, hoping that when he came up, life would make sense again. Kido and the village men arrived, more laughter. While Shabba was having his dramatic bath, Kido and a few men from the village arrived at the river. What is he doing? One of them whispered. Kido grinned. He is baptizing himself from his problems. The men laughed, watching as Shabba splashed water on himself like a madman. Finally, Shabba looked up and saw them standing there. He froze. You fools! Why do you watch me? He shouted. Kido crossed his arms. We are just making sure you don't drown in your own confusion. The men roared with laughter again. Back to reality, Shabba still has a big problem. After a long soak, Shabba finally got out of the water. He stood on the riverbank, dripping wet, staring at the sky. Did he feel better? Maybe a little. Did he have answers? No. His problems were still waiting for him back in the village. Kido patted his shoulder. My friend, you can wash yourself 100 times, but in the end, you still have to face your life. Shabba sighed. I know, Kido. I just needed a moment. Now, it was time to decide. Would he tell his European woman about the baby? Would he take responsibility for his ex? Or would he run away to the forest and pretend none of this was happening? One thing was certain, Shabba's troubles were far from over.
Ayam ayah kukupan.
Alafu gogo tingema agogupa.
Kuko doi ichawa ikuchatawa chaya pesemi kuko ya kana. Aya kina taina kitingi. Chakwa mana besimi.
Tiada. Aku ni sakami.
Nga atu mkoa chana na I ukwa. Nena one
Tata aya ngakafo ba. Kula mikono chora tomata ko. Lema so chora ko ne pota ka
ka mana ka ono metu ngata kwene kwigwa kiyen.
Taka ka ata o.
Aye te
Ta kwe lu su ti da ne.
Kwene
Kin ko ta be.
ha be
Be. Aku kasekele ta hayani na itakwa makwa akawe gwaiko.
Nena tumelu sakose mika ama.
Abo pa e ba ya na atambi.
Aku na atambi sasa koko.
Kwani omanzana ne.
Oni masa pecto. Le pese pecto ve mangola aya. Du kunku pe amem dita ye ko at agwe ko sa la kamagwe. Ito ba tabi aka
Aku cham ye ma ko ma ubaya. Ama seka koma
aba mot okova
Okwa.
Kakata bitaya ba usepa ba ko ai aya tanga etsi ena ko behin ai iba ko usepa aya mana tapati ena e ba me adukon o ba me angongo e ba me adukon o ba me angongo no e ba me okoma o ba me angongo e ba me okoma o ba mi angongo e ba mi atoko sha ba mi angongo e ba mi atoko ba mi angongo Bamia Okoman, Bamia Ngono, Bamia Okoman, Bamia Ngono,
Quota Kusepa, Chachana, Ota, Quota Kusepa, Ota Ubi, Yokakata, Ubi Chiki Bitina, Kakata, Ota Ubi, Kusepa, Kakata ota ubi on kusepa no in kusepa ota ubi chiki biti na dodo kweme be picking kai chapi lembe kwa be isin kusepa oku wa tete ubi ami ubi chiki biti na oku wa tete oma kuwa tete omae na omate kwa mo ake ono satita na fati bi
Mame katiba munaye mebe samame katiba munaye mebe tumiga me samame sumangeda tumiga me samame sumangeda akwikosa ayako chiakwa
Pusha wakwa sandeku, sema ya saku kuku. Pusha wakwa sandeku, sema ya saku kuku. Tumeka kopishu, sema ya saku kuku. Tumeka kokeshe, sema ya saku kuku. Pusha wakwa sandeku, sema ya saku kuku. Pusha wakwa sandeku, sema ya saku kuku. Tumeka kopishu, sema ya saku kuku.
What the aya? Or not can I be collect? Quarter kata bita baduk. Sama me sende aya, koa tete, koa eta sende koya, sama eta sende, tomika tachuwa. Koa eta ta ano, tomika tachuwa, koa eta ta an iyo.
Sende samaeta sende koaeta sende samae sende koaeta sende samae sende katoma sende katakalaka sende katoman kototamo ayama yak atoko tumi katako asidi sende samaeta sende otaeta ite katakalaka
I think they're waiting for them, when the lion leaves. The lions are sleeping and kill. And these guys are just hanging out.
Jackal's getting very close.
I'm amazed what jackals get away with. Why not? Let's move out of the glasses. Wow, I want to take a picture. It's the hyenas have stripped everything off the head. The lions are funny. Just like that as well. It's difficult, but it's nice. Yeah, I did it. This is just with the pillars on the phone. It's hard to do it. To clean it. It's very good. Yeah, you have to line it up. So first just support. First support. So do it like that. If you do like